Yes, people, tomorrow we know what day it is. It is the World Cup. El Copa Mundial. Ka'as al-Alam. I don't know how to say it in other languages. But tomorrow's the World Cup, baby. Woo! I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I had a big headache before I started recording this video, but boy, am I excited. World Cup tomorrow, baby. Woo! So me personally, I've actually got a football match tomorrow, just amongst friends, that actually was going to end the same time as tomorrow's World Cup opener. But thankfully, we got a message today that we're actually going to kick off an hour earlier, which means we finish an hour earlier, which means I get to go home, shower, get my food ready to watch World Cup, World Cup. Like literally, I had a headache before recording this video, but just the thought of the World Cup makes me so excited. I mean, this is what we're talking about. This is, man, NBA playoffs are great, cool, Formula 1 is great, Premier League is great, but the World Cup, sure, the timings are, horrendous, thanks to the Americans, but it's all right. Vamos, amigos, let's go. All right, so that's a long introduction, but we're going to be talking about some of the major storylines going into this World Cup from my opinion, from yours truly, what I think will be interesting going into the World Cup. All right, so there's only one place to start, and that is the GOAT, Messi. Now, from Messi's point of view, Argentina, I actually think this is quite interesting because historically speaking, we've never ever had a team defend the World Cup in a different continent, right? So, for example, Brazil has won a World Cup and they defended it, but it was in the same continent. I believe Italy is the same thing as well. So, we've never had a team having to defend win a back-to-back World Cups, or win rather back-to-back World Cups in different continents, always been at home. So it'd be quite interesting to see how Argentina do. I think a lot of people are kind of talking down Argentina, which for some reason is always a trend. They always talk down Argentina, but I actually think some areas they're stronger, not overwhelmingly. I would say the miss of Di Maria, I think, is huge. Not just his quality and his experience, but I actually think his role, profile-wise, I think there isn't anyone like him. That's plays high and wide, takes players on, makes runs in behind, finishes. I don't really think they have that. They have like, who do they have? Like, they don't really have anyone like that. Like, they have Nico Gonzalez. I believe it's Nico. I always get his name wrong, but I believe it's Nico Gonzalez. Anyway, he plays out wide. He's very quick, works very hard, isn't got that quality. Garnacho's been rubbish. So, I believe it's Nico Gonzalez. But anyway, they don't really have anyone of that profile, but I'm actually quite excited to see the young players. I'm excited to see Nico Paz. I'm excited to see my boy Barco, see how they do. I think World Cups, you always need those little moments of quality, and I always think it's a chance for you to become a star, kind of like Enzo, the last World Cup. He wasn't even starting at the start of the tournament. Scores that goal against Mexico, was brilliant, and then since then, boom, he's never really left the national team. Well, at least the squad, at least. Also, from Messi's point of view, obviously, he just made his comeback before that injury against Iceland, I believe, and straight away he got a penalty, played a great ball to Lautaro, who looked sharp. I mean, frankly, I never thought we'd see Messi play at the top level again. I thought after the last Copa America, I thought that was going to be it. So I'm happy to see him one more time. Even though part of me would have loved to see him go out on top, I'm happy to see him again one more time. He's my favourite player. Got Lelito there in the background. So excited to see one more time, and we can actually enjoy it as Messi fans. There's no pressure or anything. He's won the World Cup, he's won a Copa twice, Finalismo, which actually I was there for. So he's just there to enjoy. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward. That's my Pep Guardiola impression. Okay, so from one GOAT to another GOAT, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's the one that's got pressure. Obviously never won the World Cup, but never really done that in a World Cup. I remember 2018. He had a hat-trick against Spain, but last stages, knockout rounds, he's never got a goal. I'm one of those people, I don't judge players by their trophies. I judge players by their individual performances. We're going to ignore that. I judge players by their individual performances and individual trophies. I don't judge them on what they win, as part of a team, because ultimately it's a consequence of a team. I always think that's so weird in football and basketball when they say, this player is better than this player because he's won more team trophies. I think that doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, so many factors that contribute to someone winning a tournament. And you as one player, you could only do so much. I mean, Messi the best ever, but if you put him at San Marino, they're not winning the World Cup, dude. Like, facts. You can put Ronaldo, prime Ronaldo, to play for Luton. They're not winning the Premier League. So, just as, and also be quite interesting. Obviously, there's a whole narrative about Ronaldo as if he actually improves Portugal if he doesn't. I mean, it's difficult because he'll score goals if they create chances for him. But if you're not creating chances or the game is quite stretched, you need someone that's going to press and track back, etc. Ronaldo going to do that? Obviously not. So, but I do see him scoring some goals in the group stage. I think as talentless Portugal are, I don't think they're going to go far. I think manager is whack. I think the kind of the balance of the Portuguese squad, even though it's very, very talented, I just think Ronaldo, I just don't think you can play a man down in these tournaments. Like, as in the sense of Ronaldo, okay, it's fine. He doesn't press, neither does Messi. Defensively, give you 0, but at least Messi offensively gives you so much more than just goals. If Ronaldo's not scoring, he's not doing anything. He's not linking play. He's not running the channels. He's not dictating play. He's not going to play the final pass. Like, offensively, it's just goal scoring. That's it. And if people, and it's just poaching, so it's not even like goal scoring. He creates goals. Like, Messi can create goal out of nothing. Ronaldo can't. So I just think that profile player, I don't know. But we'll see. I think he'll stat pad in the group stages, but I think last stages, even if he does actually score this time, I just don't see. Hey, my Roberto Martinez rather, I don't see them going far. And also, like, I mean, just thinking about the squad, yeah, cool, you got a very talented squad. I just don't see it, honestly, based on what I just said. I just think cohesively it's just not there yet. And I genuinely don't remember the last time I watched Portugal actually been impressed. I think they've got quality players, but as a cohesive squad, I don't think they're there. Going to a team that I think have a cohesive squad, and they're actually my favourites to win it, Spain. I think Spain look very good. I think, obviously, having fresh off winning the Euros, you got Yamal, who, in my opinion, is the best player in the world. Granted, the whole thing of going into a tournament not fully fit is not great, especially looks like chances might be rushed back, and I think people always downplay rhythm going into a World Cup. So he's not, especially someone like him that takes a lot of risks. So it's a gamble, but I think by the time we get to knockout rounds, hopefully he's got some minutes under his belt, and I think he'll be unbelievable. You've still got Pedri there. You've got so many just talented players across the board. You've got Nico Williams there. You just got quality. You just got quality everywhere. De La Fuente's been there, done that. So I think they're my favourites personally, and they're actually a cohesive team. That's the thing. So I think they'll do well. Again, other teams I think people are speaking about a lot. Obviously, naturally, Brazil is going to be thereabouts. Again, I just don't see the quality there. Like, Vini, we all know about Vini for Brazil, just never really done it. No Rodrigo. Rafinha's never really done it for Brazil either. Igor Thiago, I know he scored a bunch of goals for Brentford. I think his all-round play is lacking. And again, tournament of this magnitude, you need it. You can't just have someone who just scores goals. Neymar looks like he should be back for the first game, but again, he's not really fit. I don't think Neymar can play 90 minutes every 3 days, as I said before. I think if you do, you're asking for trouble in terms of his injury record. I just don't think physically he has the capability. I think he'll be great for like 20 minutes coming on, especially with people like Vini, Rafinha down the wings. He can find them a bit of quality or play some quick combination pass or drop a shoulder or to play someone behind or whip the ball in top corner or a free kick. Like, he has little isolated moments of quality, which is why I completely agree to bringing him. I just, like I said in the last video about Neymar, I just think you should have brought him a lot earlier and make sure you've got a cohesive system in place. Also, Ancelotti, I mean, I saw him playing the 4-2-4 the last few games, even though I think he started to switch to a 4-3-3, 4-2-4, isolating Bruno Guimaraes and Casemiro. With his age, that's a lot of space. I think he might just end up settling down with a 4-3-3, but tactically, I think there's questions there. And again, Ancelotti's not been there long, it's his first major tournament, so yeah, not convinced. France, again, I think everyone's talking about France. I think France are not as good as people think. I think they've got a great attack, obviously, Dembele, Mbappe, Cherki, Elise, like, wow, what a front four, and obviously Ekitike's injured, so which is a shame, but I just think they're horribly imbalanced. Like, what, Rabiot, Tchouaméni, I think a lot of people that don't watch Real Madrid, they fall for the name of Tchouaméni, but defensively, I think he's very good, but on the ball, he's very average. Like, and Rabiot, like, I don't know how we're still talking about Rabiot. Neil Camavinga, I think, was a bit of a howler, even though he's already developed, he's already kicked on, but just I think that midfield duo is not it. And defensively, who have they got? Like Saliba, fine, but Saliba, Upamecano, I think he's a great athlete, but I've never really rated him defensively. Konate's had very up and down season with Liverpool. Actually, probably more down if anything. So not really convinced. Fullbacks as well. Like to me, the whole team just is. It's not really inspiring. It's just the attack. I don't think the team is as balanced as the last few World Cups. Obviously, Kante's still there. Like Kante's like, come on, man. I'm not convinced. And who else? England. I mean, I've already spoken about England. There's a real bereft. They're really bereft of any real quality. I just don't see enough individual brilliance to do something. That's why I would have taken Trent. I would have taken Cole Palmer. Like, you need these players that can do something just off a cuff. So I just don't see it. I don't see how they're going to do it. Kane, last stages of the World Cup, or just big matches in general, not great. You know, and especially him dropping deep. I think you have a real problem with him dropping deep and kind of breaking down the space that Bellingham finds himself into. I think you're going to have to really work on making sure that they're always on the same page, making sure that when he drops, Bellingham always sprints him behind. So potentially that could be a great strategy, but I think you just find situations where they're both just dropping deep. There's no real focal point. Gordon, Rashford, it's just an underwhelming attack. So, not really convinced. Also, as an African, obviously I'm from Sudan, I'm very excited to see how the African teams get on. Obviously, Morocco, fresh off winning the AFCON, and Senegal as well, to see how they're going to do. So I'm very excited to see how they get on. I mean, who knows? Senegal might be going on a little run. We saw, Maghreb, as in Morocco. Maghreb is Moroccan Arabic. We saw them go on their run the last World Cup. So interesting to see what Senegal will do this time. But regardless, I'm very excited. Argentina's first game is against Algeria, I believe. Of course, as a Messi fan, I'm rooting for Argentina. But I think their first game is at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, I'm very excited. Let me know what you guys think in terms of predictions. Who you think is gonna win? Top goal scorer, the tournament itself, of course, Golden Boot. Me personally, I think Spain win the World Cup. I think Yamal win the Golden Ball, and I think Mbappe win the Golden Boot. But let me know what you guys think. All right, till next time. Salut.